What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is David Hanlon, aka the Laptop Legend, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the stocks that you guys need to be watching for tomorrow. Now, today was a little bit slower of a day in the market, and there were a lot of technological issues going on again with a lot of these brokers. Fidelity in particular was having some bad issues. I'll be real with you guys. E-Trade was having some. TD Ameritrade was having some issues. I don't know what other brokers were having issues. I think Schwab might have as well. So we had a lot of frustrations today, and that led to kind of a slow day overall. I wasn't willing to take the type of size that I normally am just because, man, it was glitching out. But still finished the day pretty green on the day. Nothing insane. I can't tell you what I finished green because Fidelity won't tell me. I'm assuming it's at least $1,000 profit on the day. I have no idea what the exact number is, and I won't know until tomorrow morning, probably before market opens. So I'll post that on my Instagram story. Feel free to follow me there. But yeah, I mean, let's dive into the stocks for tomorrow because we really do have some good ones. There was a stock that came out with breaking news about a COVID filter, 92% what is the word? Efficacy? That's the word. Efficacy. There we go. 92% efficacy rate for filtering COVID particles. So that stock spiked up like 100% in 10 minutes. I took a ride on that. Again, if you were in the Discord, you should have banked on that as well because I called it out right as I got in. And yeah, that stock is probably me running tomorrow. We got a lot of other stocks that are going to be running. So let's talk about that. All right, guys. So I'm here on my computer, and this is a chart that you guys need to be watching tomorrow. This was the best overnight play that I saw. So I am, for the first time in a very long time, taking a risk on an overnight stock. Yes, I know this is unlike me, impossible to manage risk overnight, obviously, but you know, I'm just gonna see what's happening and see how this thing turns out. So I personally bought, you can see here, I bought 50,000 shares right at 71, right at the close, you know, right at the high of day, which is typically like, wow, David, you're chasing that stock a lot. But if you go look at the chart, you can see this kind of has a history of gapping up and spiking after the first big green day. And, you know, that happens here. We get a first big green day after a ton of consolidation, and it gaps up and spikes after that. Then it consolidates some more. Nice big green day, gap up and spike after that. Some more consolidation, nice big green day. So I'm personally expecting a gap up and probably a spike off of this. Again, I took a very small position. I only took like a $370 position. I think that's the math on this. Yeah, I think that's the math, something like that. And, you know, less than $400 position for sure. So this one, I mean, it's on the watch list, man. This could definitely break through a penny tomorrow. Would not be surprised if it does. We know what stocks can do when they break through that penny psychological resistance. Look what happened when MINE blew through that penny psychological resistance. I mean, look at this. In one day, it blew through that and went all the way up, you know, to 170, and the next day was above 2 pennies. So, man, just got to be watching that stock. Got to be watching SIML. The stock that I talked about was KNOS, and you can see this news here is super, super good news, and that's why the stock spiked up so much. So it says, you know, this stock announces their test results for its line of purifiers. They provide 99% COVID-19 reduction rate of the virus, according to independent laboratory study. And, you know, obviously, you can read this press release on your own if you want to, but that's kind of a big deal, man. That's kind of a big deal, especially for a OTC penny stock. And if you look at the overall chart, man, this thing just absolutely ripped. First green day, this probably, if I had to guess, is going to keep going and going hard. You know, probably gap up into a continued spike tomorrow. I just don't feel comfortable holding it overnight just because it went up from 12 cents all the way up to, you know, 24 cents, which is where it closed. And again, that's an 100% gain in like 10 minutes here, and then it consolidated. But I mean, what, 20%? I mean, 20 minutes for, you know, holding 100% gains right into close. It seems like it's a little bit much for me to feel comfortable. I prefer, you know, steady uptrends, kind of maybe accelerating a little bit into close. That's what I prefer for overnight. So we'll see what this does. You know, maybe I should learn to take a little bit more risk on these, take some overnight holds, but, you know, we'll see what this does. I am looking for this one to just continue to spike, continue to rip. This one had really clean executions after a day of really slow executions, so I like this stock a lot, man. If this continues to run, I will just ride that momentum as long as I can, using the level 2, like I've talked about, to read where there's going to be resistance overhead. If I can buy in and it goes, you know, the way I want it to, I'm going to be selling partial shares along the way to lock in those gains, riding the momentum as long as I can, and getting out once it turns. Because, again, look at this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I bought it here. Where did I buy it at? Let's see. I bought it at, where did I first buy it? I bought 10,000 shares at 14.5, and I definitely messed it up. I tried to buy it here and didn't get in it at 11.85, and I ended up chasing. I thought it was a chase here at 14.5, and man, this thing just kept running. If I had taken bigger size, and I would have if Fidelity were working better today, I could have taken, instead of 10,000 shares, I could have taken 100,000 shares, and I would have made, probably at least $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on that trade, which would have been insane. And I added here at 20 after selling some along the way, and it was a beautiful trade. And I'm looking forward to riding the momentum on this one tomorrow. Probably my number one top watch because this one really has the potential to spike, as we saw by what it did in this, end of the day. Again, OTCs, news does not affect trading after hours. It can't trade after hours, so we'll see what it does in the morning. I expect this thing to be big. Definitely looking forward to it. AABB. This one also had a really strong run all day long. Probably would have been a decent overnight hold. First strong green day. I just wasn't super comfortable holding this one because the executions were disgustingly slow all day long. Just getting in and out, and didn't want to risk it, but this one definitely, huge breakout. So have to see what this does. Maybe it's just a big morning panic that we can dip by, but definitely be looking out for that. Let me keep going down the line. What else do I have? Let me scroll through some of my orders because, again, I can't see most of my closed positions. I probably traded at least 12 tickers today, and you can see there's like 5 here, and 2 of them are missing the cost basis pending updates. Fidelity servers are just disgusting today, but, it is what it is. Maybe I'll switch brokers to a premium one, pay some commissions. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted. HQGE had some decent dip buys today, but nothing too insane. This one, I would say, just keep an eye on, but I'm not going to force any trades on this one. WDLF, this one broke down below some intraday support. Yeah, it broke down below this intraday support and ended up being a really good dip buy. So you can see here, it kind of held up these levels all day long. And then when it cracked down, had a huge fade, and then bounced and came back above. So this thing can definitely recover, can definitely still run, and I'm going to be watching out for that. TSNP, man, this bounced directly off of $1 today, literally directly off of $1. It was trying to crack, but could not crack, and closed right in that area. So today it cracked that important support level of 125 that I was talking about. So I would just say be careful, guys. Just be careful. It could be a decent entry here, but it needs to hold up that $1 support, because if it breaks that, it's not a good sign. So again, just look at all the volume there. If it breaks through $1 and actually breaks through, and you try to sell under $1, you're getting out at like 95 cents, 93 cents. Like it's gonna be a panic under $1 if I had to guess. But potentially we could see some support in this area around the 90-cent area. 92, 93. So look for a bounce there if it does break under $1. And then the next level after that, man, it's not really till 70 cents. So TSNP definitely still heavy on the watch list, but still, it's pretty choppy right now with this spread. It's so hard because you lose 1% if you get in, and it upticks a cent. You have to get in on the ask. I've talked about this already, and get out on the bid. So at 101, it's horrible. You have no way of cutting losses really quickly, and if you take a big position size, you're just losing a lot of money. So gotta be careful on that one. Let's see what else was doing some stuff today. MAXD, this one, MAXD. This one, it had some nice little panics in here today. This one, if you look at the overall chart, it's still holding up these areas. It bounced off of that, 11 cent, what is that? I guess 1.1 cent area. So definitely worth keeping an eye on. But this one probably is a little bit overextended at this point. So this one, I would mainly be looking for a big morning panic. I wish it closed further up near the highs. That would have been nice. But we'll just see. We'll see what happens. Maybe it can go up and then see a bigger panic on on Thursday, I guess. Man, this week is already flying by. CCIV, this one had I guess it wasn't even the news that people were looking for. It just potentially, there were more rumors of the news of, yeah, so they won't even confirm it's merging. Lucid Motors won't even confirm it's merging with Churchill. But there was just so much hype on this. I traded this today. I think I only bought what did I buy? 100 shares, and I made, if I can find that, let me see if I can find that. CCIV, yeah, you can see that. No, that was the second one. Let's see, RBLD, where's the other one? CCIV, yes, you guys can see I bought 100 shares at market, riding this momentum. I bought it 51.27, and I sold 8 seconds later at 53.89 for what is that, over $250 profit. I made $250 in 8 seconds like that on CCIV with tiny size, just riding this momentum. So I wouldn't be chasing this one personally, but if we get some nice spikes, definitely worth looking into in terms of riding that momentum. RLBD, this is another one. RLBD, this just had, just a random big spike out of nowhere. This is another example of where you guys want to use that spread. I forget exactly how I did this one. How did I do this one? Yeah, I must have gotten in, so I got in 1601. It must have been, I'm not sure if it was here. One of these times I got in like on the flip of the spread, and it was just beautiful. There was a huge spread, like a 5-cent spread, and I was able to make a couple hundred like that super quickly. So definitely look out for stocks that have big spreads like this. This one, there's not a ton of volume, so I wouldn't recommend holding this, but if you see that opportunity, there's a 5-cent spread, and or you're looking on a level 2 and there's a big gap between one bidder and the next bidder, put your order 1/100th of a penny above the next bidder who's like under, if that makes sense. So there's a huge gap, and you put yours right above this guy, because if there's a wave of sellers and it cracks down below, you'll probably get executed, and then you can probably just sell market, and your broker will probably get you out like halfway in between. That's typically what happens, and you instantly like make that difference. Or if you wait for a bidder to move up, then it's even better. Let's see, GTLL. Not sure if I talked about that one already. I may have. This had a beautiful dip buy here, and definitely didn't nail that one nearly as much as I should have, but just look for these opportunities, man. This one was, it might have been this one. I forget which one it was. It might have been this one. I think it was right in the beginning of the morning. But definitely a lot of red candles. Love seeing that. OZSC, this one was a little bit tough. Let's see what it's doing on the overall, on this overall chart. Yeah, so it gapped up. It was weird. It like gapped up, but then panicked down. And again, I was hoping for it to kind of maintain these levels. But it's definitely still consolidating in this area. So I would say, if it starts perking up, getting some volume, gets over 40 cents, that's a good sign, man. That's definitely a good sign. I would try to be more patient with those shares, because if it does that, there's a good chance I think it breaks out past 50 cents. You just got to have the patience to hold. But I probably wouldn't hold through the bottom of these levels. So, it just, you got to see. I would probably, if I get in for the break of 40, best I would do is hold the break even. I don't think I'll be able to hold down here. So that's just my plan for OZSC. Again, if you see these dip buys, try to nail them. Just take advantage of these opportunities. INKW, I think I got chopped out on this one. Yeah, it was just kind of gross, man. This is just tough to trade. Some of you guys are talking about swinging it. I don't really have a good strategy for swinging this. It's just kind of choppy, in my opinion, at this point. These days had some nice volatility, but recently it's just been pretty choppy, so it's going to need a little more something to get me interested. Let's see what else. SIML, this was another interesting one. I'm not sure if I talked about this yet. Yeah, okay, that's the one that I talked about that I'm overnighting. Let's see, anything else? AABB, already talked about that. Did I talk about? Okay, well, let's talk about this one. SCKT. Yeah, this one is just an example of what a low float stock can do and how absolutely crazy it can go. This thing was literally just uptrending, squeezing the entire time since pre-market. Let me go to 2 days, actually. You can see this did absolutely nothing yesterday, and it didn't start till early this morning. And it just held these gains, squeezed, held, squeezed, came back down but still held, and then squeezed, broke past those highs. That is the beautiful U-shaped breakout that I love to see. And again, if you can get in near these levels, it's worth it, guys. It's worth it. Getting in on a pullback, a spike, there's a little pullback, and then getting in anticipation out of the rip through the high a day, absolutely beautiful. Even if you buy here at this point, like, I don't think you'd ever be negative on your trade. You can chase that breakout of the high a day in this case, which I typically don't recommend, but break of 14 absolutely sent this thing, and my goodness, it just kept squeezing. That thing went insane. Thing went absolutely insane, and I know a lot of shorts who made a lot of money on this thing on the backside. But man, this is just another example of those low float stocks that can go absolutely crazy. So got to be ready for that. MRIN, this is, I think, one that popped up on Trade Ideas. I think, this is just a low float, if I'm not mistaken. And this one was spiking a lot, and just riding that momentum. Not really too much that I like about this. Just pretty choppy overall. So I probably wouldn't look into that for long term. BOSC, did I talk about that already? BOSC, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So this one just had a quick spike up when it got some momentum, and I just took I took a tiny loss on this stock. Took a tiny loss. And yeah, I mean, I cut my losses quickly, guys. Cut them quickly. Get out if the trade goes against you. That's still my #1 rule. I don't like holding losers. And SOS, I think this is squeezing in after hours, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so this is squeezing in after hours. Held that consolidation range nicely all day long and is now squeezing. So if this breaks that high here, my goodness, this thing could really go. Could really go, man. So just be aware of that. If it breaks this high here, 1360, I mean, it could break these highs here at 18. I wouldn't be surprised to see that if it breaks those highs there. So be looking for this tomorrow if you want to trade some more NASDAQ stocks. Let's see if there's anything else. I think PETZ was squeezing after hours. Probably came back down. I don't think there was any news. Okay, no, it held these gains pretty well. Okay, so this is another NASDAQ that I don't know why. I don't know why it's spiking. Sometimes they just spike after hours, man. Low floaters spike after hours, and you can take advantage of some of these moves. I didn't trade this today because of the technology issues with Fidelity, but, man, I mean, it's nice. Be looking for this one tomorrow. AITX, obviously, stock we're always talking about. This had a nice little panic dip buy in the morning. Not too much else going on. Still some nice consolidation, though. Still some nice consolidation. Holding these areas pretty well, so if it continues to hold a couple more days and then we get some perk ups with volume, I would be looking to buy. I'll be looking to buy this. And let's see, is there anything else I'm missing? DTLL talked about that. ALYI had a couple of panics. It just felt heavy, though. Just felt heavy. Same thing with AITX. Just felt heavy. Every penny was being worked for. And not super interested in that one, honestly. And, man, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all the stocks that are worth watching. I mean, if I missed something, you know, feel free to comment it down below. SHMP, I guess that one. SHMP did something. Yeah, I mean, it was just super low volume, though. Super low volume. Choppy. Not a huge fan. Yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much it. The main watchers, again, KNOS, that's the main watch, and the one that I'm overnighting, whichever one that is. MITI, I was mad. I was trying to add some of this today, but I went to the post office. I was trying to add under 40, and then y'all slapped the ask and got it above 40 cents. So hopefully this comes back down under 40 so I can add some more. Again, MITI's just been consolidating hard, guys. Literally just consolidating. I don't expect anything out of it until we get some news, and then at that point, man, this thing is going to be dollars. So I'm trying to get as many shares as I can by that point. I still only have 80,000, so I want some more for sure. Everyone, feel free to sell your shares. Give me a nice discount. That would be lovely. And yeah, that is it for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, let's grow better together. Preguntar, bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.